Here we go, we're not too far away from meeting not only our teams but our officials as well, and this is some lovely scenes out on the pitch. The officials are all getting involved with the introductions here.
So we're recognising Mike Wallace here for his 100th cap as a referee at European level.
There is a quite considerable refereeing fraternity within touch, and so Mike Wallace is a hugely respected figure. The referees have had their moment, and now it's time for the players, England and Wales. First come Wales, led out by Dan Rees. The players to watch for Wales include Stephen Evans, the number 4, 23 touchdowns in this competition. And Adam Lewis, in one last game, has 20. England, meanwhile, keep an eye out on the number 1, Vaughan Meredith, 21 to his name. And number 16, Miles Partridge, has bagged 29 touchdowns by this stage. England are the team to beat in the men's open competition, and if we think back to the games they've already played, then it's not too difficult to see why. They've been hugely impressive.
Yeah, they have. Full of quality, both teams are full of quality, but the England men's open team have really taken the stand to play to the next level over the last 4 days. Both teams have huge character, very disciplined, and looking forward to a really impressive final.
Should be about it. It's time for the national anthems as we await Wales against England. Wales national anthems, and these are the teams. Here come England. Vaughan Meredith, Will Serracold, Angus Gough, Clark Hobson, Dominic Tripp, Jordan Melling, Toby Phillips, Gabriel Pennington, John Weston Stanley, Daniel Mile, Max Howard, Ryan Meemchick, Sam Jones, Miles Partridge, Tom Hall, Oliver Maynard, coached by Timothy Osborne. For Wales, these are the men who are tasked with beating the tournament favourites. Kieran Evans, Stefan Evans, Matthew Francis, Harry Davies, Dan Rees, Richard Lawrence, Ollie Smith, Lewis Hesse, Daniel Roberts, Adam Lewis, Dafford Adams and Gavin Pascoe, coached by Charlie Otley. Well, we're moments away from the start of this one, and in actuality, Ben, we've not seen a huge amount of England in the last couple of days on field one. For those who've maybe not seen them before, what should we look out for with this England team?
Look, very drilled, very disciplined. What they do is have a very defined use of their processes and policies that they'll be sticking to very, very closely throughout this game. I was speaking to their coach earlier, and he talked about attitude, and that's what it's going to come down to from them. I think they know that they are capable and talented enough to take this game away from Wales, but it will come down to their attitude and their approach. It hasn't let them down so far this tournament, so they'll be very confident that they can get the job done over 40 minutes here this evening.
They are the tournament's highest scorers. It goes without saying. They put up the tournament record result against Switzerland, 25-0, I think I'm right in saying. And that just shows they're not just here to sort of humour the smaller nations. If they're there to be got at, they don't alternate their policy or their processes, as the seems to be the coaching buzzword. They are there, and they are there to win, and win well, and keep the hammer down.
And nothing will be easy against this Welsh team, it never is. These guys aren't here to make up the numbers or just be part of the final, they're here to actually and you know, they should be feared in their own right. This Welsh team is very athletic, have a really strong skill set, very well drilled, and they're going to throw everything at England over the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, keep an eye on Stefan Evans, very talented player. Saw that last night when we saw the men's team for Wales on the programme. And here we go. The final game is underway. It's Wales against England in the Men's Open gold medal match. Here is Stefan Evans, slight figure. A lot of similarities in many ways to Louis Treys of the mixed open team for Wales.
Yeah, both pivotal players as well for the junior setup in Wales as well.
Yeah, he's easy to forget that Louis Treys is a junior, such as his quality. But England survived the first Welsh attack, and England now on the ball for the first time. There you see that the pace of the halves is so quick for England. The ball does not spend a lot of time on the deck. And that was Clark Hobson nearly taking one in the face from the half there. Decided it probably wasn't intended for him, ducked out the way, and England lose the ball. Taking on at pace is Dan Rees, pick number 7. Now with Kieran Evans. Harry Davies spins one out long, intercepted, and off to the races goes Vaughan Meredith. He's got a player up with him for England as well. The touch comes in on Will Serracold, and Wales have done really, really well to survive that. Vaughan Meredith is quick. And Wales doing so well, first of all to keep up with him, and then to break the attack down when he had to move it.
Yeah, Vaughan got up in the passing channel nice and early to take that intercept, which is good. And he's taken off. Coach probably would have preferred Vaughan just to take the touch there rather than lose the ball, but unfortunately Will Serracold was there, and England will get an attacking set on the Welsh line now.
Here they go. And a dive for the line from Jordan Melling. And a touch is called. This is Dominic Tripp directing traffic. Now England will spring into life. Melling spins one out. Lovely take. It's a great effort. Was there a touch?
Yeah, really good touch there by Wales. Great ball from Jordan Melling out to Miles Partridge. But the defence really well read and a great touch.
And Miles Partridge there, the number 16, has got 29 touchdowns to his name in that's 8 games, that's all.
Yeah, he needs another 6 to get the all-time record at a European Championships, which is actually held by another player in the men's open team, Sam Jones.
Keep an eye on that, because you wouldn't put it past him. He has only played 8 games. England as a whole have played 10. Quite remarkable scoring records. And you can see why with, take the touch out of the equation, the ability to rein that in and get it over the line was fantastic technique. Good defending there from Wales.
Great athlete, Wales.
Back come England again. Game settling into something of a pattern. This is Toby Phillips in number 7.
Forward pass there as they look to get onto another middle for their dump. Wales get the penalty and come off their own line.
They're looking themselves to inject a little bit of pace. Forward goes Lawrence. And now Evans. Not much momentum lost from Wales in this foray forward. Got quickly up towards the England 5, but again another turnover. Let's see the game's first score after 4 minutes, perhaps a touch surprising.
Yeah, given England's scoring prowess and Wales' athletic ability, I'm surprised not to see a touchdown yet, but I'm sure one is coming anytime soon.
Oh, are you going to talk one in for us, Ben? Here come England. Well gathered eventually by Will Serra-Calden. On the outside was Vaughan Meredith.
Wales are defending really well against England at the moment. They're sliding across, staying tight when they need to, expanding when they need to, and they're really neutralising England's expansive attack.
That was Ryan Nimchik who rather threw that at the England receiver. I wasn't quite expecting it. And Wales will be very pleased with this start. As they can go ahead, they'll be even more pleased. Here comes Dan Rees and now Stephen Evans. And look at the dynamism of Evans. He needs someone to pass to. Does he get it? I'm not sure he does without a touch, and I think the ball was probably out of control as well. And that's the danger of Stephen Evans.
Yeah, fantastically quick. Split both the England middles there, Ryan Nimchik and Ollie Maynard, and both turned. And we've got a mistake here from Dom Tripp, very uncharacteristic like, and Wales are going to get another set on the England line.
Yeah, this is where they can be patient and do what Welsh teams do well. Take their time. And here comes the explosion. Evans, nimble. And was touched.
Yeah, the two youngsters in the team, they're up against each other. Ollie Maynard, only recently 18, another member of the England boys 18s team that'll go off to the JTC. So these two will be playing each other in a couple of weeks' time again.
Oh, nicely done. And he looks pretty happy with that.
No, referee happy there, 6 touch. They've called Vaughan's touch.
There's Adam Lewis, who nearly was down in the corner. Great effort, either way. Back come England. Better handling on this occasion from Dominic Tripp. And then we'll keep the ball here.
Yeah, referee deeming a Welsh foot in the ruck, which was quite obvious there. So England will have another set of 6. Can they make this count? I'm sure this is probably the longest England have gone at the start of a game without scoring these championships.
Yeah, what was it we heard Simon Clare say in the interview just before? We always make it hard for ourselves in finals. But I think we may well see the first score, no, touch called. That was close. Gabriel Pennington very nearly in.
Yeah, it's a big call by the referee. He was perfectly positioned to make a decision on that one. He's deemed that the touch was in before the ball was grounded.
These two are running a repeat of both of their respective very first games of the competition. They met all the way back on day one in the morning. England were 12-5 victors.
It's also a repeat of the last 2 European Championship finals as well, so
Safe to say they know each other.
very well.
England come on to this for back a pretty good preparation. Their last game was today at 12 o'clock, and they beat Belgium 17-1. Wales, meanwhile, had a good win against Germany, 12-6 triumph. They have only lost 1 game in this competition, and that was, of course, to England. The definitive top 2. And a big pool of 11. And here comes Wales. And they couldn't quite take advantage of a pretty untimely slip in the England defence there.
Yeah, Jordan Melling's done really well to cover for Angus Goff, who lost his footing. Otherwise, that could have been the first touchdown of the game.
England versus Wales in the men has started rather similarly to the women's game. Defence is on top. Neither attack really looking too much like scoring either. Defences have been really strong so far.
At the moment we're looking at a defensive attrition even.
It's been a long 4 days.
It has. Nutrition is also important. Got a sweeper play here by England. Toby Phillips dances through. Toby Phillips goes over the first touchdown of the 2018 Men's Open final.
Well, out of nowhere, wasn't it? It almost seemed too easy in a way here. We'll take another look at this. Toby Phillips, here you see him sweeping around. And Wales here just opened up. It was a good bit of evasion. And ultimately, I think after how well Wales have defended, they'll be a little bit annoyed with this.
Yeah, essentially the Welsh defender there has pulled too big of a corner. So as he's made that touch, he's tried to protect his outside a little bit too hard. As soon as Toby see him going, he's then stepped back and is able to walk over the scoreline.
Forward come Wales. Does that open the floodgates in this final? I think it may well have done. That's Wales' first touchdown, like London buses, isn't it always the way? Once one comes, the next follows. That's Ollie Smith in with his 16th touchdown of the competition. Beautifully picked out. And after so much attrition, as you say, 2 of the easiest touchdowns I think we've seen all day.
Well, we've seen Wales shape for what was going to be a follow ball or a trail ball there, which then meant that the England middles stayed nice and tight early doors. That then allowed that long ball to go wide. Are we over for a second? Referee's happy.
It's Gabriel Pennington who's got it, the number 8. It's his 12th of the tournament. And all of a sudden a flurry of touchdowns. This is what we maybe expected right at the start of the game. But eventually it has arrived, and take a look at this for a finish.
Yeah, not surprisingly, Jordan Melling's long ball involved once again.
A key weapon for England.
Absolutely.
Can Wales respond as well as they did the last England touchdown? This is Stephen Evans, and he gets it back. Has to go again.
It's a nice tight defence by England there. Clark Hobson dealing with Stephen quite well.
Still no way through for Stephen. This time it's Daniel Roberts, and again England remain firm. Pace out from the back from England once again.
Referee deeming that a hard touch, so England are going to get another set of 6.
Something it's clear that England have worked on really well is their pace of the halves in particular.
Yeah, definitely. They're a lightning team right across the board. Seeing Max Howard come into the action for the first time.
Wearing number 11 at the bottom of your picture, he might be involved in a moment. their way through there. Wales not making this easy. I knew they wouldn't. England as yet haven't found it easy to break through, and if that's a touchdown, that is an unbelievable finish from Miles Partridge.
Yep, Melling long ball, Partridge finish. I'm sure that has been the case for many of Miles's 30 touchdowns now this championship. Great ball, great pickup, and great finish by Miles Partridge.
That is so well done on the dive, isn't it? Brilliant. It's not quite the best one we've seen today. The one in the mixed open final from Alicia will take some stopping, but it's a really, really good finish from Miles Partridge. As you rightly mentioned, touchdown number 30 for the England wing. Wales come back. Oh, it just opened up for them there as well, and the England defender ended up losing his footing. If the pass was better.
Yeah, perhaps. I think he was probably in the correct space that he may have made that touchdown. The read came fairly early from England, so we probably would have seen a recovery touch there. But Wales have exploited something that they might be able to utilise later on in the game.
I'll certainly be hoping so. Oh, and was he somehow avoided there? Touchdown.
Toby Phillips, lightning feet to Sam Jones. I think Sam will take some doing to catch up Miles and perhaps put in a bigger defence to his all-time scoring record at the European Championships, but he's on his way.
That's some unbelievable work from Toby Phillips. Check this out again. How on earth has he been avoided here? Out the back of the hands. Sam Jones down. And it's his 15th. He's precisely going at 0.5 the rate of Miles Partridge, but I don't think he'll mind that as long as he ends up with a gold medal. That's a brilliant touchdown from England. And they're having to produce moments like that.
Yeah, Wales are pushing them all the way. England are having to utilise every bit of skill they have.
Oh, we saw this earlier. Vaughan Meredith is on the way again. Has he got the pace this time? Tremendous work from Adam Lewis. At the end of a very, very long competition, he reined him in so quickly. Vaughan Meredith is no slouch. Neither is this man. Miles Partridge goes back inside.
There go England. Max Howard, Jordan Milling around there as well. And with the impact Jordan's already had on the game.
Spending their time once again. Now they spring into life. Here is Melling. And over on the far side, there is Gabriel Pennington in for his second score. And now England are just starting to take control of this one. It's been gradual, but make no mistake, it's now a pretty healthy lead with about 5 minutes to go until half time.
Yeah, Jordan's hit that short line, gone short side, waited for that link to pop up. You can see there he's popped up, and that leaves a nice hole for Gabe Pennington to hit. Really sensible play by England, waiting for Wales to give them the defensive shape and making a decision on how to best attack it.
Yeah, it's a reactive strategy, isn't it? And when you've got players who are that good, something you're very much able to do.
Absolutely.
Daniel Roberts lies in wait. Reese. Roberts isn't quite right behind him. Take two here. Reese, Roberts spins it out long. It's good hands, but the touch comes in, and then we'll get the ball back. Well, just seems to run out a little bit of ideas there.
Yeah, England's defence held strong. And we're just seeing England take a stronghold, not just on the scoreboard, but in the game as well. I think even though England are up on the score, I think up until now it's been fairly level in terms of the balance of the game. England just more clinical, but you can see now they're starting to dominate a little bit more midfield. Here goes Dom Tripp. And the touchdown's been given.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's Ryan Mimchik who's in. Number 13 got the eventual finish, and not for the first time England breaking through the lines. And this is really, really good work.
Yeah, Dom Tripp lightning off from half here. Fixes that number 7, takes off, goes over the touchdown line, and Ryan in for the touchdown. And the Welsh players looking at each other as if to say, how did we let that happen?
Whirlwind-like, wasn't it? Wales punch drunk. England's 6-1 up, 2-minute warning before half-time. And it's been a gradual process, but in the last 5 minutes or so in particular, England have started to look much the better side.
Yeah, they have. Clinical, very composed of what they're doing. Here goes Stefan. Good touch by Ryan.
Evans then once again on for Wales. This is where he does his best work, from the static position.
And we've got a fire up here.
Surely
Wales are in. Well worked. Notice that England defence a little bit tight, and therefore tried to exploit their slow reaction, and they've done it perfectly.
Well, there's a couple of players who lost their feet in here for England as well, and Adam Lewis is the man to profit on the outside. His 21st touchdown of the competition. Beautifully done.
Yeah, no recovery there from Will Serracold at link, and sucks in Vaughan Meredith for the shutdown, but to no avail. Really good touchdown by Wales, well worked.
Oh, and England are up the other end. Straight in, we'll have to get a replay of that one. Toby Phillips far too quick. And his pace, once again the difference. Great work from England, once again.
Jordan Melling.
Just the way you say that in almost a loving way is just testament to the admiration I think a lot of people have for his style of play.
Yeah, he's just so composed off the ball, and in many ways, you know, the fact that he's been involved in 6 of England's 7 touchdowns now with that pass. It's not the length of the pass always, it's not the speed of the pass always, it's the timing that is just so impressive.
Klaxon sounds, this is the final play of the half. Wales might still be able to make something of this. They won't now. That'll do us. Or will it?
They're going to come back for the penalty. Touch and pass.
England, I'd imagine, will just take our time here. Yeah, Ryan Mimchik will do just that, and that will do us for the first half of the Men's Open final here at the European Championships. What a wonderful half it's been, eventually, from England. It was turgid at times in the opening stages, but they have turned it around pretty effectively to lead by 5 at the interval. And here's a reminder of just some of the wonderful moments we've captured here at the European Touch Championships so far. The final match of what's been a wonderful tournament. Well, a wonderful championship, and the tribute here, a Euro history maker, Mike Wallace, 100th Euros match, and that is some feat.
Yeah, it is, and to be still refereeing at the very top of the game. Mike officiates the Men's Open final, one of the quickest games of the tournament, and at 100 matches, Mike's certainly not slowing down.
A wonderful moment from Mike, and he got his big moment at the start of the match as well. Welcomed on by every official at these championships, and there's quite a few. Here we take a look at some of the golden moments so far in this first half. What a brilliant bit of work that was from Miles Partridge, who showed us just why he's so highly regarded. Toby Phillips has also been remarkable at times in this first half.
Yeah, electric really. Fantastic at playing what's in front of him. And case in point right here with the lovely feet and flick back to Sam Jones.
He doesn't look the most elusive of players. When you think about elusive players, you think it's small, nimble, but the agility and the movement in his hips is frightening at times.
Absolutely. He has an excellent read of the game as well. He gets good cues from defenders and is able to adjust himself accordingly.
See that quite a lot of support down in the corner for England. Brilliant team are all watching that on with interest. It's not just Toby Phillips, of course. Plenty of the other England players can come to dance as well. That's Dominic Tripp showing his quick feet.
Here's Wales hitting back. Again, we talked about England a little slow to react there. Sucked them in. Couldn't get back out. Vaughan Meredith missing that shot. And Wales going over.
Yeah, it's the first time England have been really, truly caught out and outdone really by Wales. Although they get similar for Wales' first touchdown, similar sort of scenario, just one long ball out to the wing, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Wales are in this game. I know the scoreline doesn't reflect that, but you know, a game of touch can be turned on its head within minutes. So Wales will take confidence from the finish of this first half. They'll be looking at small little fixes to ensure that they neutralise England as much as possible.
And here we go, the final half of action at these European Championships. England are 20 minutes away from doing the men's and women's double in the Open, just as they did the last Championships.
Yeah, it's last two championships, 2014, 2016, and now here in 2018 attempting the same feat.
Here they go. They'll be hoping to pick up where they left off in the first half. They started slowly in the first, didn't get going. And when they did, it was impressive to behold. Crowd still enjoying it. See the Belgium squad tucked in behind that end zone.
So England penalty, offside, I think. Was the call there from the referee.
Pennington drops it off, goes again. Just back away. Draws a touch. Unfortunate.
Wales defence nice and tight. And we see the number of Jordan Melling lurking, ready to join the action here.
And maybe Wales are expecting. That's a terrific go from Gabriel Pennington. He dived in from miles out there. It's another touchdown. It's 8-2. The gap is now 6. And this is some fantastic finishing.
Well, you can see Wales straight away react to Jordan's line. And Gabe takes advantage of that and dives over so low to the ground. Gave the Welsh defender essentially no possibility of actually getting in there. Really nice stuff from Gabe Pennington.
Tremendous athleticism. Wales on the hunt again. And they'll keep plugging away. Here they go. Oh, and it's not a bad effort from Lewis Hesse.
Very good touch there from Oliver Maynard.
Here he is again, Hesse. Stefan Evans. Nice to see possession. He will get the touch in. With Seracold. And they're on the march again. With Seracold, tripping support. Here he is. He burst forward in that extra injection. Might be all England needs, but Wales defend it really well. Stephen Evans sticks an arm out.
Yeah, good defence by Wales. Compressed nicely, recovered. Wow, Will Sericold
Brilliant.
sees a gap. Not only sees the gap, but manages to skip over Dan Roberts' potential touch. This is some lovely footwork.
And how about the handoff to him as well, out the back of the hands. Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? That's the sort of level that not many teams have in the locker at this tournament.
No, particularly 11 games into a 4-day tournament, and to still have the athleticism to be able to do that is exceptional.
And creep closer to another European title. Essie out to the wing. Not a bad effort there.
Nice Partridge, really good meters covered to get that touch in.
Ollie Smith for Wales, who went for it. He nearly got it in the end. One of those long rangy limbs of Miles Partridge just got across.
Wales setting up for a sweeper. Here goes Stefan. Good work by the England defence to hold tight, and Wales will try again.
There he is again. A little flick inside, and I mean, there's two possible defenders who could have taken him out there. England read that really well.
Yeah, good cue. Read that Welsh attack and reset themselves in defence. This time pace, but a good recovery touch there from the link. Gabe Pennington getting up in that channel.
It was Daniel Roberts who made a dive for the line. Wales here, almost through sheer force of will, trying to get themselves over. And the ball out wide was a touch desperate in the end.
So England get some possession here, and they'll look to head towards their sub box, I'm sure. Oh, bit of a sloppy slow ball there, roll ball there, but we're continuing. And England looking to roll on some fresh legs.
And on they come. That's the quickness of John Weston Stanley. But England turn it over pretty easily in the end.
Yeah, referees picked them up there for a skew dump, so hips not facing towards the opposition scoreline, and Wales get reprieve and get the ball back and see if they can mount and attack themselves.
And would they come? A good last few minutes for Wales. Wants to make it count with a score. Painful one, I think, there for Adam Lewis. The last thing Wales want is for him to be out. Their second top touchdown scorer. Well, he got one in this final.
Yeah, it doesn't look too good at the moment. Physio's on.
Wales have had a little bit of rotten luck with injuries this afternoon. We saw Ryan Kruger exit late on in the mixed open final.
So it looks like ankle. Looks to be getting up. And probably try and move him. Oh, he's joining the defensive line, so hopefully he's okay. Here we go.
It looks like the big man's all right. Clock doesn't stop in touch with all stand the Claxon after 40 minutes.
Referee giving a penalty there for a forward pass off the ruck, and Wales turn that ball over, regain possession, and they're off and going.
Momentum is all with Wales at the moment. England struggling to put sets together. This is Stephen Evans. Can Wales make this pressure tell? It looked like a little bit aimless, that run.
England turn it over in the middle of the pitch. John Weston Stanley. There's Carl Cobson.
England rotating their squad around quite nicely here. It's worth pointing out a squad of 19 for England, 3 more than Wales. And they've all played a part in nearly every game. And they go again with number 19, Oliver Maynard. And a hurl out to the wing. Oh, fantastic finish from Miles Partridge. The referees want to confer. What is the call? And they're going to bring it back, which is a real shame. I think some of the players still don't know what for.
So they're saying the pass was forward. So what they've said is the pass was forward, but no advantage was given for the hard touch. So it was a hard touch, pass was forward. And we were a little bit confused. The referee was explaining to them what was going on, but that's what I'm assuming is the case. And well, it doesn't matter now. England have turned the ball over and Wales have got it back.
Well, a real shame for Miles Partridge in particular, as he seeks to complete that personal record of touchdowns at a European Championship. And just a shame for the highlight reel, really. It was a brilliant somersaulting finish.
Yeah, it was. Wonderful finish, wonderful ball, but unfortunately forward.
Now, terrific pace there from Harry Davis, and we haven't seen him a huge amount for Wales on the front foot in this game, and he can be a real threat. He's a really dynamic player.
Yeah, we haven't seen him too much, so hopefully now we see him injected into the game a little bit to be perfect with those tired England legs.
Well, we've made reference to it quite a few times over the course of the last couple of days. You know, you've played the game to a very high level yourself. What are the legs saying after 4 days of elite competition?
Don't get out of bed. No, look, the morning certainly is the toughest to get yourself down to the fields. Once you've warmed up once, you tend to be okay. As warm downs and warm-ups go, Wales, no, it touches in. As warm-up and warm-ups go, they tend to get a little bit shorter each time throughout the tournament. Stretching becomes a little bit more important, but essentially, if you've done the training, which these elite squads have, then getting through these 4 days of competition, it's not easy by any means, but it's manageable because of the amount of work that goes into preparing for such a major championship. It's not many sports like touch in the sense that you play 3 games at this level of intensity each day. It's phenomenal to think, the distance covered at the speed over a particular time. It's a very unique sport in that sense.
When you take a look at the physicality of the players on show here, all are magnificent athletes.
Yeah, you need to be a very dynamic and well-rounded athlete to be competing at an elite level in sport.
A few of those on show today. Oh, now then. Touchdown for Wales. It's Daniel Roberts. Really good in the end from him. Not too much of a smile on the face of the Welsh number 13. Probably knows how long away it is back, but this was some lovely play.
Yeah, England caught out there. Max Howard pulling back, gets caught flat-footed, and Jordan Melling had rushed up too quickly and was treading too high of a line there and allowed Dan Roberts to get in behind him. Here's Pennington.
I'm just going to take a breather here, take a step back and draw Wales out a little bit. Now off to Pennington. Overload on this near side. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go long again to Partridge on the wing, who will be waiting on the far.
Pennington.
Oh, beautifully done, but just behind the on-rushing Vaughan Meredith. Something England do very, very well is draw teams in with the quality of their middles and then just punish teams with the wings.
Yeah, absolutely. They move that ball so quickly, so direct. It's fantastic.
In that sense, no surprise to see Meredith and Partridge, England's top scorers at this tournament. Not too far behind them, there's one in the middles. There's Wales and the pace of Harry Davis. We mentioned this would be a thing. Oh, now then. That's a spectacular finish. Is the referee called a touch? I think he has.
Yeah, he's got a touch and pass, so he's indicated to Toby Phillips, your touch was in before that ball was passed. So we're going to have a touch and pass.
Well, it was a brilliant bit of dynamism from Harry Davis. It's a difficult finish as well.
Yeah, very, very difficult finish. Again, could have been one for the highlights reel.
The game denies us. I'm sure we've cooked up enough over the course of this game, and indeed the tournament. There have been some wonderful moments.
So the referee blowing a penalty there for a hard touch on Oliver Maynard. And then get a repeat set. And we've got a forced sub for the Welsh team.
Coming up to 6 minutes remaining then in the men's open final. It's flown by. This is Mimchik. Used quickly. Goes for the touch, and Mimchik is denied. It was Lewis Hesse who stood in his way.
Yeah, so another penalty. One of those Welsh players was offside. Referee deemed not enough an advantage applied.
And there's the ball. Oh, and Miles Partridge couldn't quite supply the finish. Just get the sense that's been, could essentially run a replay there of about 29 other instances in the tournament. That long pass out to Partridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a weapon. Good pace injection from Hesse. Let's come forward again. Just over 5 minutes of the tournament remaining. They are needing a minor miracle if they're to extend that into drop-off. They need more than one or two highlight moments. And speaking of which, Ben, it's been a wonderful tournament. What have been some of your favourite moments, or have you got one standout that you can think of from the last 4 days?
No, I mean, I couldn't possibly comment on one standout moment. The entirety of the tournament has just far exceeded anyone's expectations, I think, in terms of the organisation. Oh, penalty.
I thought for a second the referee was giving a touch on there. Yeah, sorry, penalty. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. So the organisation, the operations of the event have run extremely smoothly. The venue and the facilities have delivered. And most importantly, the standard of touch across all 10 divisions, all 62 teams, all 17 countries, has just been truly exceptional.
It's not a bad takeaway to come away from this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there's been some fantastic moments in games, none more so than the excitement of the finals.
Oh, well,
touchdown.
Talk about exciting moments. Wales have just provided one, but is it going to be brought back?
It is brought back, so I would assume one of those passes has been deemed forward and the referee's brought it back for a hard touch.
This is wonderful to watch from Wales. What an offload. Out the back of their hands. It's unlucky.
Absolutely, Wales get the repeat set here.
One of those plays that deserved a touchdown. They may still get one. Oh, they weren't there though.
I haven't seen too many balls thrown long go over the sideline today, actually. It's been fairly good accuracy in this game, but that one does. Perhaps some fatigue settling in. Wales just trying to force it a little bit too much to see if they can put some pressure on England in these closing stages.
3 minutes remain then before England are inevitably at this stage now crowned European touch champions once again, completing a hat-trick as, oh, Miles Partridge. That is, well, we've been looking for our highlight reel moment There it is. It's his 31st touchdown of a phenomenal tournament, and this is finishing from another planet.
Absolutely. And again, a Jordan Melling long ball fired across to Miles Partridge and a beautiful finish. The pace of this ball has actually helped Miles a lot with his finish. It needed to come quickly because Miles needed that up and down perfectly. And a lovely finish.
And in reality, whilst it might look a bit flashy and showboaty in a way, for a player as tall as Miles, that's the only way he's grounding that quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. He's essentially reaching that ball out of the air and smashing it down on the ground. Quickest way possibly for him to do that.
But mercifully, it does look showboaty. It's glorious to watch when it's done well. And now Meredith can tuck this inside, and they're on the run here. Touch is made. Will Sericold won't quite escape this Welsh line, who probably didn't appreciate an intercepted pass with just 90 seconds left of a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Vaughan's third intercept of the game.
Sericold on to Ryan Mimchik, and again England will just wind the clock down a touch here. Just over 60 seconds to go. 10-3 the scoreline. It's been a well-managed performance. They've not been at their vintage best, but it's been a really professional job.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, England will be pleased with the result. I'm sure they'll go back even after winning this championship in their preparation for the 2019 Touch World Cup to work on the areas that didn't quite go to plan in this final. But both teams have contributed exceptionally well to the spectacle.
And of course, this isn't the end of the road for both of these sides. The European Championship just represents one step on the road for their development as a team. World Cup coming next year. Cycle starts again. And England will resume that cycle once again as European champions. Claxon moments away from going. Wales, do they have one final play in them? They don't, that's it. England have done it. Once again, England can say they are men's open European touch champions. A tremendous win over a very valiant Wales side who were ultimately beaten by the better team.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent performance by England. Had everything, good ball movement, good passing, high quality skill, execution was there. And from Wales as well. They played their part, scored some exceptional touchdowns. Very good effort midfield. And to consider this as the 11th game for these teams over 4 days, they should all be really proud.
Well, let's take a look at how the game was decided in the end. Some of the moments towards the conclusion of our final. This is the wonderful backhand offload and finish from Will Sericold. England didn't deliberately go for sort of highlight real moments as we've described them, but they, just for the skill of them, they generated them anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. A wonderful touchdown there.
And, this is the first attempt at the somersault finish. Take a look at that for an arm. And he was very, very unlucky. Pass was called forward. Nearly wonderful. Wales then still had some moments of their own. This is a lovely touchdown for Daniel Roberts. Take a look at the weave here.
Yeah. So loses that defender. The link pops up and Daniel Roberts takes advantage of it. And that ball is over the whitewash.
Yeah, lovely steps. Does so well. England though still had a couple more in them. Here is the highlight moment, I'd say, of the game.
Yeah, wonderful finish there from Miles Partridge.
Not quite the individual record in the end. I don't think he'll mind that too much.
No,
It's still been a wonderful tournament for him. and ultimately he is a European champion.
Absolutely.
England have been here before. We weren't expecting celebrations too wild or crazy. They're just getting a little bit used to this now, taking it in, and ultimately they're where they wanted to be and where they expected to be at the start of the tournament 4 days ago. England are men's champions.
Please do take any litter with you. That's a request from the organisers. Any litter, any beanbags or lounges, take them to the Red Bull TV.
Well, here are some of the more artistic moments. What a moment it was for the referee, Mike Wallace, his 100th match in charge at European level. Wales initially started very well. Stephen Evans in particular was a driving force in their attack. In the first 6 or 7 minutes, England struggled, and Wales were really in it. But ultimately, it was the chance that was taken by England. The first try went in, and then they started to take over from there. And I believe Chris, our roving reporter, is down somewhere in the throng with the England coach and the England skipper.
Are you? Yes. England's head coach, we'll try that again now the microphone's turned on. England men's head coach Tim Osborne, you seem to be the most calm man in Nottingham on the sidelines there. Was that just for show?
Inside I was a bit knotted up, to be honest, Chris, but I know these boys, the work they put in and all the preparation that the coaching and backroom staff team have put into getting us to this final, so I had every confidence that they'd be able to go out there and deliver, and we just had to execute.
When you know, it's not like you've got a few knockout games to prepare. It's a round robin, then straight into the final. So how has your preparation been during ahead of the week, but also during the week itself?
The week's been very good ahead of the week. We trained 2 weeks ago up in Wigan just to finalise our training plan and our game plan. The last 3 or 4 days we've been sequencing through our game plan to test ourselves and fine-tune our defence. So we couldn't have asked for a better preparation going into that final against Wales today.
Dom Tripp, England captain, just a little word about the man to your right. What's he like as a coach?
Oh, great bloke. Very calm facade. He's very, very passionate. Despite the fact that he's very calm in the box, I mean, he just cares so much and he's putting in a lot of hard work. So massive credit to him and the other coaches in the box, Jeff Martin, Peter Bell, quality blokes who've just helped us achieve what we've done.
They seem to have instilled a real killer instinct in this team. Is that how much of that comes from the players and the squad as well? You know, you see the guys on the sidelines, the likes of Jordan Menning, Ryan Mimchik, you know, the people who you know, play against each other week in, week out. Yourself at Scorpions, London Scorpions, you know, all of you play against each other, but when you come together for England, what's that like as a group?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's something we've worked particularly hard at this year because it is a little bit of a new squad and we do play against each other a lot, but we put in a lot of hard work behind the scenes, particularly on conditioning and strength work and massive emphasis on culture. And I think that showed throughout the week and particularly in that game. You know, credit to Wales, they came out, they threw a lot at us. They've really turned around from game one where we put a few more on them and they tested us, and that just showed that our character led us through that game.
Dom, just before Christmas, you guys went off to Australia to the New South Wales State Cup. Bit of a learning experience. What have you taken from that into this year's Euros?
Yeah, a lot. Fitness being one. I don't think we were fit enough when we went out there. Speed of decision making, and that's something that Tim and the guys have put us through, putting us under pressure a lot more. I think, particularly week in, week out, we don't get an easy ride, but we can kind of play around a little bit more. But at State Cup, we're really under the pump a lot. So that's just something that sort of being able to play under pressure is something that we bought.
Tim, World Cup starts here.
World Cup started 18 months ago. Yeah, we're 12 months into that planning cycle. Next stage is State Cup, then World Cup, and we'll take a couple of days to reflect, review, and then it's straight back into it.
As far as yourself's concerned, just how the lads reacted to that, because it's one thing about you as a coach wanting to put things in place, and you then increase the demands of these lads. But the fact that they've responded like that and the way they have, and put in, that was a very tough game. But the performances across the week, they've just been stellar.
It's not only me, it's getting these boys involved in the process. They buy into it, they help shape it. It's not just me sitting in a back room telling them what to do. There's consultation week to week. Dom and I, every fortnight we catch up, see how our preparation's going, review, assess, talk with the coaches every fortnight. But ultimately, the culture, the drive comes from these guys. I don't generate it, they do, and they create it.
Dom, one final word about the tournament as a whole. European Championships back on home turf for the first time in 8 years. How's it been for you as a player?
Fantastic. Massive credit to the organising committee, the referees, the volunteers have been fantastic. The whole experience has been just phenomenal. We haven't had to think about anything, and just really, really enjoyable week. Great bunch of boys, and just loved it. Loved the whole week, and can't wait for the next chapter.
And Tim, where does touch go from here in Europe?
Bigger, better, stronger. We need competition to be stronger in Europe for all of those European nations to compete on the world stage. So we want the likes of Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Italy, everybody else catching up to us. Yeah, driving our performance. Together we get better, we'll compete with that Southern Hemisphere crew.
And just finally, how Miles Partridge with the touchdown right at the end, 11 games, how does he have the athleticism to do that?
Don't know.
Let's get him over here. The bloke's he's a bit of a magician. That's phenomenal. I'm sure no one else saw it. I'm sure. But
one for the personal highlights reel for everybody.
Might be on his Instagram if you have a look.
Gents, very many congratulations. Thanks very much for your time, and we'll give you your trophies in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks a lot, Chris.